And I don't think Medusa will be enough to solo carry this game.
So like every Legion commander game. Then.
Yeah, no, yeah, Legion's a pretty hit or miss. You either
You can't afford to have that this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're going to need, seriously, everybody on Winstrike to be able to step up their game to bring down the big dogs. A Virtus Pro is VP going to go completely uncontested in a second season. The Eastern European DPC and crown themselves the champions. We'll have to see with Moxie and Fog.
All right, we have game number 2, and we have a slightly different approach to the draft this time, coming out from Winstrike. Do we like this, Fog? Is this going to be enough?
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
It's very passive. It concerns me, especially with how VP plays just super aggressive, right? And this just feels like it's an all-in Medusa. We've got the Legion Commander buff up. We've got even eventual, like this Brewmaster just being able to just full-out support the Medusa, just be that blanket to give her the help. But yeah, I think this is just going to be another really tough one for them. VP, they're not messing around today at all. I thought maybe we'd see some of these, you know, trying stuff out. No, not today. They start out with the Tiny every single time first pick. They're picking save as Windranger. It's a very clean, straightforward draft for them.
That is actually so triggering, the Windranger laugh. Oh my god. If only it was all chat,
It's only
right?
to allies, I was about to say.
If only it was all chat. You could definitely tell some people, you know, gain that advantage there, because, you know, the psychological warfare is a true thing here.
I mean, these guys they're gonna have so much fun, honestly. You can tell the way the way VP's just the way they played that first game was no messing around. It was just ruthless, especially versus a team like Winstrike. Look at this, they're just running around as a train, spamming RTZs. Getting a good angle on it there for GPK.
My favorite are the cursed RTZs, the ones where you put him on multiple levels of terrain and he comes out all funny. It also works very nicely with the Sunspan one too.
So no aggressive play there, no real aggressive smoke besides just checking out top, getting themselves a River Ward there, standing outside the Roche.
Possibly to check any sort of rotations that might come in, but I don't really feel like we're going to see any crazy moves, honestly.
No, maybe just to see when if they do look to secure runes early, they're going to be looking to secure bottom more so on VP. Usually what that type of ward does tell out here. Yeah, we'll see how these lanes do end up being. Mid, we saw the Batrider unable to take advantage versus the Templar Assassin in that last game. So let's see if Rebel's going to be able to do better this time on the Lina and actually put any pressure onto GPK.
I mean, it's one of those situations where it feels like it should be pretty good in lane, considering the fact that you are ranged. You can try to go for your cheeky LSA or something like that, although no points picked up in that at all if you're going for the last hits. But then the tables turn, right? Once you get the more levels online for Tiny, you are so susceptible to being burst down, which is very, very scary.
Most definitely. A lot of them are quite burstable here, for sure, on the side of Winstrike. And yeah, I mean, Tiny should be able to do. He should be able to hold his own because I mean, it is GPK number one, of course. But also, he's like we've seen these Tinys like every single time they come out even. The way that this bottle just works with the constant rune control doesn't matter if you're in a very aggressive harass lane. So yeah, I think it's super important. Do or die here for this Legion Commander to have a good game. It doesn't feel like he can do too much pressure actually onto a Wraith King with the Snapfire behind. Sure, they have the line, which is a very good right clicker with a Legion. Yeah, it does feel like it could be still difficult as Wraith King is amazing. In lane, it seems like no matter what he's up against, even if he's against counters and he's got Snapfire, this is like the strongest duo. They've hit level 2, so they want to get aggressive immediately. Yamich, if he steps up too far, he can just die instantly.
Yeah. Little Shredder already getting applied a couple times here.
Yep.
The pressure is starting to heat up in the bottom line.
And they did already, you know, you see that point in the overwhelming odds because you want to try to secure range creep here as this Legion. That means you don't have a Dispel. So versus that little Shredder, that minus armor is going to stick on you as GPK.
Rebel? Ooh.
Go for the Fallen Rocks.
Otherwise, fairly quiet here. That little bit of that level 2 going on safe, just being as annoying as possible, just poking away over on Pantomime. They keep running into each other, pulling off to the side, and it's just letting DM do whatever he wants from this lane.
Yeah, they can't get aggressive up here. This is just like your ghetto clockwork is what I like to call it. The Brewmaster with your Medusa. It's a similar kind of concept where you tank the brunt of the forest. You're just trying to get some harassment, secure range creeps for your Medusa.
Oh my word. Lat Shackle over here on Pantomime, and he just gets clicked down. Does have a couple tangles, does have a couple stick charges, but definitely feels bad.
He's just got to secure the farm. Medusa's got 14. not too shabby, but yeah, DM is still getting away with everything. But his regen is also limited up here, DM. Might have to be a bit careful how far he does step up. He does get clapped there. There might be a chance for them to actually go for him.
I mean, you've got Save, though, nearby, who can just literally save if necessary. Throw out that shackle. He's been very on point. I don't think I've seen him really whiff any.
Ooh, they just lost a lot of melee creeps and a range creep there on the side of Winstrike. Kingslayer does get the pull off.
Are fortified.
Let's see a glyph coming out. I think that was probably for the mid lane, it looks like here. Didn't actually see it for a second. It's top.
Another shackle. Drop the send to brew. Clap. But it's rough here for Pantomime, right?
It is.
He just went and salved up again.
Yeah, they've
He's
had
got to
burn
run out
so
of
much-
regen.
Yeah, so much regen.
That's not cheap, my friends.
No, and Deracho doesn't really have much at all on him either. So yeah, DM now will be able to get that full free farm, get that Vanguard at a very good timing. Ring health already online.
Structures are fortified.
Do get the side pull, range creep at least for the side of Winstrike. As we said, you have to be very aggressive. Be careful how far you step up.
Far forward here, Cheshire Cat. I'm not sure if they have quite enough damage. The Hex, though, Cheshire Cat's pretty fast. Might be all right, but again, you can see that very potent combo in the bottom lane. Feels like both of these lanes, honestly, for the side of VP, they're very, very strong. It's very hard for them to approach.
Yeah, it is. Can't connect the snakes onto the Windranger either, the way that Save is playing on the side here. It's only hitting DM, and Centaur is one of the lower intelligence heroes overall, so that mana gain that you do get from the snake back is not as valuable as much. And he is hitting him too, with mana shield on actually a couple times, so he's burning his own mana a few of these hits. Just have to be careful too. Now that there's a level 4 available, DM is holding a skill point for if he does look to have a double edge, which he most likely will.
DPK in the mid lane.
Secures
Wasn't
range.
gonna go for the toss or anything, but like I said, yeah, goes for that ranged.
Rebel's doing a good job though, is coming out ahead in the lane a little tiny bit here.
I see what you did there. DM just feeling very powerful. Save, looking to put out a little damage.
At least the snake bounces to save there, so for Deracho it does get a little bit more mana.
Yeah, the constant plinks though. Constant poking and prodding here on the top lane.
Look at this. I mean, Deracho's just hurting himself. Stop hitting yourself, Deracho.
I just don't know what this... Okay, we are seeing a rotation now.
Okay. We're going to bring the lead to level 6.
Here. It's Laguna off. All he needs to do is press R, and Save is just gonna win run out.
Nice move.
Very necessary, honestly. It doesn't feel like this brew can do a whole heck of a lot there in the top lane.
No, he had to use... I mean, he blew through his entire regen just 2 quick minutes. At the top, they...
The double damage rune. Look at GPK. He wants Rebel here because he has the vision. LSA coming out from Rebel. They get the avalanche. He's gonna go just land that shackle. The damage is here. The toss into the air. He's using the fairy fire. Gonna go for a bit of a dark retreat though. Coming in hot. We'll take down Rebel.
That DD making all the difference. Tiny also having the grow skill, so all that increased base damage.
Yamich, he whiffs it.
Totally off the mark.
Hex coming in. Look at the save. He's running on in here with this wind run.
Oh, the bounty.
Looks like they're just gonna snap up the bounty instead.
Ooh, stolen away. And they're not able to put pressure on the Wraith King at all now. With that movement away, the line's forced to leave that lane, which means Wraith King is gonna get absolute free farm. Trying to slow down DM, but he's got the Vanguard.
Save is here. They can turn this around if they're like... No, they're
maybe
just gonna disengage.
Yeah, I thought maybe they could have actually killed the Brewmaster there.
Yeah. Power's gone though.
Wow, that is very
tap.
early. That DD coming into play for not only a kill, but also a first objective. That's incredibly early. Look at those.
A-N.
Look at those. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
It was a fast timing. It was great.
It was very quick. It's
Very good. Toss up into
Rotation.
the air. That's a dead Brewmaster. Iracha says, I can't be here anymore. And look at this. All 4 heroes over on the side of VP making this rotation. They're going to put the pressure down. And this is the problem. I feel like the problem is very difficult no matter what. Because in the first game, they tried to play faster. Yes. That didn't work out. This time, they think, okay, we've got Medusa. We can just sit her in a triangle. We'll try to make plays. But VP just doesn't allow that breathing room.
It's so quick the way that they make these moves, and they know, you know, Save he doesn't, or Kingslayer doesn't have to be bottom anymore because that Wraith King can just resort to jungle. So they can pressure this down. Pantomime. Does that mean that they're going to bring the Lina up here to try to save the tower?
They're bringing the Legion.
Okay.
All right. Immediate shackle over onto this Brewmaster. Cheshire Cat is just going to try to push them away. DM, though, cutting the wave already. There's a little bit of a scuffle over here. Don't manage to get that courier.
No. And DM with efficiency pulls it into the small camp. GPK also pulling these creeps as away too. Good rotation, at least. The Legion, it's a rotation to have to defend the tower, but again, that just means that you're playing as what Brian was saying, where it does feel like at some point this Legion could just become that third support for Medusa, which is going to put them in a really tough position.
Oh, to be a Wraith King on VP and not have a care in the world.
I know, right?
Just hit the creeps and saunter to lane, perhaps dabble a bit.
He got to play Tiny last game, so he had to play a little bit more active. This time around, he's like, hey team, how's it going? Great, okay, back to jungle.
This is a problem.
Yeah,
This is something that you don't want to have happen, because Nightfall is going to farm like a beast here.
It's just not easy for Winstrike to make these moves. Like, they have a very defensive draft coming out here with that Medusa. It's just tough for them to make moves, because they have to play about protecting Medusa. So if you do make a move away from the Medusa, you might get punished instantly from VP.
Exactly.
You're not going anywhere.
There's gonna be Stampede, the Shackle, and down will go the Lina.
Already invading the triangle too, so no stack's going to be available for this Medusa, and if they were, they'd probably get stolen as well from VP. It's just these constant aggression.
All right, they might be able to put a decent amount of damage down here on DM. Doesn't have any friends here, gets the stomp off. Does have to be careful. He is very, very slowed down. He pops the charges, because guess what? Kingslayer's here, and they don't want to have to deal with both of them, as yet another person comes up, save. Look at the way they just sweep. It's like they're doing like bomb scouting sort of thing. The way that they move, and they're just so precise.
They know who to play it around. Beauty of watching VP as a blink dagger done. 9 minutes 50 seconds. GPK. It's only 3-1, but they're going to kick up the pace extremely fast here soon, as Blade Mail's picked up for Cheshire Cat. Does give them a little bit more damage.
Good against save if he starts to try to focus fire him down, but
he won't make that mistake. He'll just stop attacking and move away.
Exactly. I mean, I'm trying to find some glimmers of hope here. It's rough for Winstrike. They're trying some different things, and hats off to them. The fact that they're mixing up their strategies and trying to see if they can find any sort of holes in this armor. But
at least Duracio is getting more farm than
Yamich.
the PA last time.
Get out of there. Ooh, just barely manages to teleport away.
At the very least, right, Medusa this time around is getting a little bit more farm, but Rebel is just constantly getting hunted here from GPK. Arcane Rune, he's got another stun in a second.
Pushes those phase boots. He wants it. The Stampede comes out. The Avalanche connects the toss into the air, and again, a dead Rebel. Top lane, though, they're going to try to put some harass over here to DM, and he is starting to settle a little bit low, but he is very, very tanky. And look at this, the cookie hop forward. They're going for the duel, but save immediately followed with the kisses. It is beautiful. They don't manage to get the kill on the bottom of him. He does have the split, but look, they still haven't taken down DM as these pandas are hunting on the back line. The stomp comes out. The rock will connect. And they do finally get the kill on DM. Pantomime, he's got to be careful.
Kingslayer's gonna go for him.
Kingslayer's got the little shredders, trying to apply some of that negative armor. The shackle not quite connecting, but the cookie hop does. And the power shot snipes out here.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Nightfall, doing whatever he wants to do. No pressure whatsoever. And Duracio, his area is also warded. The triangle is warded out, so Medusa doesn't have safe places to farm at all. VP, it's just hunting.
Hi, Cheshire Cat. Bye-bye, Cheshire Cat.
Of course, a fairy trinket as well, pointing out for GPK. Always seeming to get
Hi
that
there, Yamich, and Cookie a little bit too far forward here, but they are hunting, and the tree barely, 20-something hit point. GPK says, oh, my bad. I didn't realize I need to do another action here.
Is under attack.
Oh, feels tough to be a support this game.
Feels tough to be Winstrike this game.
Yes, that too.
GPK.
They're putting up a good fight, though.
Yeah, they're trying to at least counteract any of it. Like, the Bruce split at least gets him that one kill onto DM, but it feels like DM is going to be one of the only ones that does die again in this game.
DM is just the damage soaker. As in most games, DM presents his face.
Is under attack.
Everybody uses their spells on him, and then the rest of the team just pops in the last, I don't know.
He's still got a blink already, too. He's got it so quick.
He's gonna be able to follow up the toss right back. Alley-oop. That blade mail's cute, but it's gonna be Kingslayer gets it, and then Rebel. Oh, Rebel, he just can't seem to catch a break. This poor
Radiant's
Lina.
bottom tower is
He's gonna
under
be able to
attack.
walk away, but look at, we've already got the the Sacred Relic online now for Kingslayer.
Relic's done. Double blinks are at the ready. Winstrike, they gotta look to make some more moves. So this Lion and Lina, they do have their level 6s. They have a haste rune also, of course, on Rebel. They gotta go kill something. They have to just use their double ults onto one of these cores to catch back up. Like, hopefully for GPK. That's one of the bigger targets they can get. Kingslayer.
Kingslayer already just high tail now because GPK jumps in the toss. So it's a dead Lina. And this is the like, I like the fact that they've got this burst damage on the side of Winstrike. You've got, you know, the Lion who's got Finger of Death. You got Lina who's got Laguna Blade. You've got these tools, but the problem is you need to be able to get pickoffs. And VP, aside from Nightfall, who has multiple lives, right? They're not going to ever allow that. They're always going, if they're going to be making any risky movement, it's always at least in pairs, if not more. And that's just, you can't make these plays, especially now as you start to pull behind.
And you will have to commit almost everything onto one of those two heroes that you do find anyway. The Tiny or the Centaur, they're incredibly tanky. You're probably going to have to use both that Laguna and the Finger to be able to bring them down. Duracio, it's getting some space, but it's under vision. So VP, very likely to make a movement over here and just try to shut them down as they do see all of this. So we do see VP smoked up. See a Diffusal Blade being picked up also on save. Not yet, but he is going down that route just to counteract Medusa with Focus Fire.
Good lord. GPK though. Oh, Rebel into the arms of the Angel.
Oh my god.
Or in this case, GPK.
Arcane Rune, full map control, so he's always getting every rune. As we mentioned, the Fairy Trinket for extra burst. Level 13 at 1430, just like the TA last time. And this ward is super deep. It is going to get spotted from Winstrike, but that does mean they're under vision. And they're also going to get the counter ward here on the side of VP themselves, so...
Radiance completed now for the Wraith King.
VP's just too good. There's just no element of hope, no element of openness for this Lina to find any... Every time Rebel's like, all right, I'm on the hunt, I'm dead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
It's
attack.
just so quick the way these moves are. They've gotten the Mantha on the Medusa. As we said, it's all about Medusa this game, but they are going to have 3 or 4 even glorified supports just sitting behind her. So it's all about Duracio at this point, as he is having a way better game as the PA this time, but I think VP doesn't care. That's why they're hunting the Lina. They're hunting this Legion commander as, yeah, Sunsven even looking down on them.
Thanks, guys.
What is the voice line that he's got again?
I don't even know. Shannon has a couple.
I don't know. My favorite is the one, but I think there's one that's like, well, you guys tried or something like that, you know? I don't know what this Lina can do at this point. Died 5 times. Hasn't been able to get off hardly any spells. And just every time that they show up on the map, they just immediately... And this is the problem, like you said, it just feels like they have a lot of supports now because they don't have the items, they don't have the levels, they can't even step outside the base without immediately having a GPK there.
I feel like they have to try to do some type of smoke movements, though. You're just letting VP really run at you, and you're splitting away from your Lina. You have to be able to support Rebel so he doesn't just get... So if they do commit, right? Like if they do just pop the Lina, you have to try to get something out of it at the very least. Have the Lion behind, have the lead P while the Wraith King does get free farm.
I don't want to say it's tilt, but how much of it is just, you know, frustration?
Gets the bottle, gets the illusions. It's so many different things. It is VP, so it's just... They're moving too quick for you to even be able to react, but they do need to, like, they have to do something on Winstrike. You can't just sit back and let this happen. As they're showing the Lion bottom, so that means that VP's got information to just make a move wherever. They're trying to get the Blink Dagger just like last time for Yamich, but it's gonna come too late. I feel like they did the same exact thing for this Lion in the last game, and it didn't work. I want to see much more active out of Yamich. He's just waiting for somebody to show.
Is this VP's last game of this DPC? I'm trying to remember the schedule. Pretty big deal.
Yep, I mean, they're dominating.
Yeah, they're proving why they're the kings of this region.
New neutral items, double Phillies, Fan Brace as well for the side of VP. Full whip 2. 5k gold lead. Slowed down a tiny bit here, as we are seeing Winstrike at least group up a little bit better here. You know, Pantomime's sitting behind Rebel, but...
But they are trying to move, like you said, try to be a little bit tighter. It's just so frustrating, especially when you can't find a footing at all on the side of Winstrike. You're trying to make room for the Medusa. It's obviously very, very important, but at the same time, it feels like the rest of these heroes over on the side of Winstrike, they're too squishy. They don't have the capability unless one person's out of position over on the side of Rift Sport. Maybe then they can, you know, get a pick off, but VP, they just play so tight when they reach that certain item timing and they realize that they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah. Winstrike's just not even trying, though, here to look for the plays. Like, the Lina was trying. Rebel was the one looking for these plays. We did see the one Bruce split, but besides that, like, where's this Lion? Like, where are they to look for these plays? Like, he's got Blink, but...
Under attack.
Is it just playing too not greedily, but thinking too much about your own game? Like, how am I gonna be able to be effective in this instead of how are we going to be effective?
I think it's just this looming. It's just this threat. I think they're getting in their own heads for sure playing versus VP because they're not really doing much around the map, and now they're under this constant vision. And look at all these items being picked up. VP, there's a diffusal for the
for the position for Windranger.
Yeah,
that's an oof. All right. Positioning here coming out from VP. They're gonna just throw Nightfall up front and center. Has got that Radiance on the line, a big tanky lad.
Goes for
even has a halberd. My God.
Yep, way to counteract that Medusa entirely. And now now Winstrike just has to ball together. They pretty much have 4 supports in Medusa. So let's see if it does work out for them. I don't think it's going to, but there is some hope as he at least has the items finished up about to be on that Medusa. Aghanim's also about to be picked up for Dyrachyo. VP's doing whatever they want.
I mean, how can they stand toe-to-toe with them at this point, especially when you consider how far behind they have slipped, you know? 5k net worth lead right now. When you look at their heroes, they haven't had any sort of escalation. Look at this Nightfall just being right front and center. DM with the stomp. Throw out the Wraith Fire Blast. And look at the supports. They're dancing around. They're like, what do we do? What do we do? Oh my God, they tossed her back. All right, that's a nice stun, though, coming out from DM, which will be able to connect on several. Disarm, though, there's no mana left here for this Medusa, as she is just shredded into pieces. They do get the split off. These Snapfire Kisses raining Hellfire down. Pontaman's just trying to figure out what to do here. Starts poking away at Kingslayer.
Maybe they get
DPK maybe a little bit too far. They've got the Laguna, they've got the finger, they're trying to get the victory. They do manage to slay GPK. The cookie, though, coming out here from Nightfall. Team, you are going a little bit far right now. They kill Rabel, they'll take down Pantomem.
Is it enough to even bring one down? All right, they'll get one with the glyph, but GPK's diving into the tier 3 at this point.
There's still a tier 2 up.
Yeah.
Team?
Another VP stomping.
This is...
And it's the way that they approach the fights too. Look, they commit onto Dyrachyo, and then they all just go for it. They know exactly what the game plan is. They're like repositioning, get them away from their base to force them to try to help this Medusa so that we can get all these chain kills. Just beautiful planning as always from VP.
God, yeah, and you can see T-Save with that diffusal just helping to chip through that. Man, there wasn't much mana left anymore at that point anyways, but just all these pieces in VP's draft coming together very nicely.
Top tower is
GPK gets a little too excited here. They do get some dual victory. I mean, that's something you gotta be very proud of. GPK hasn't died very often this season at all, so, you know, you at least got that underneath the belt.
Yeah, we see that glyph. Look at it go to work. Beautiful. Not much they can do at this point. Ag's online, though. As we said, all on Medusa.
You stop dying out of tips. You stop dying
Radiant are scanning.
Did also find a growth bow. Didn't actually point that one out, so at least get some luck on his side.
For sure. Perhaps VP it's a little too overzealous. You know, we talked about the fact that GPK's just diving into the tier 3s over there. You know, they amass a decent amount of gold as this game goes on and they can find kills. I don't think he's going to. I mean, you never know, right?
Yeah, it's just been no funny business from VP today. Like, sometimes you're seeing a little bit of like craziness with them like diving in for it, even at the tier 3, but this is like appropriate. Like, this is just them asserting their dominance because they know there's no reaction. Like, Winstrike is not doing much of anything, so they're just letting VP play the map however they really want to. DD outside the Roche pit. Solar Crest finished on our Snapfire, and Nightfall is pretty much approaching that BKB any moment now. So we'll be able to stick on his target very easily versus that Medusa. We'll be able to completely avoid the Brewmaster disables, the Lina, the Lion. We'll have no worries. Is that the shard picked up now? So Medusa does have shard. So versus that single target, we'll have a little bit more survivability, but where's the damage going to be coming from here for Winstrike?
That is indeed the big question, because this Lina just immediately gets taken out of the equation. She's working on her own BKB, but there's a lot of damage coming out just in the physical side of things.
Yeah,
and then Cheshire Cat just hasn't been able to do anything this game. You know, he got that one duel victory, but that is, of course, you know, the cat falling asleep with his paw open and the mouse just walking on in.
Tends to happen a lot of times with Legion. It's a tough hero to make work, honestly, when you are playing like these 4 protect ones. As Brian mentioned, you know, either you have this like explosive game or you just literally become a support. So he has the shard finished up, so that's that big buff up, so they at least have like spell immunity during that press the attack for the Medusa. But it's a lot of situations where heroes might just get jumped and not be able to get even saved.
That and there's just so much physical damage too,
There
though.
is.
Like even, like we said, over on the Windranger, position 4. You've got the damage. All right, BKB timing. Online now for Mr. Nightfall. Dota2 trying to just clean up some of these camps. Skelly Boy's being summoned.
Nightfall also level
Dota2
18.
just shows himself. That's... Oh, the shackle from Save.
Cookie.
The follow-up. They're just going to take away some of that armor. GPK jumping in onto the back lines here. Dota2, okay, yes, they'll go. They'll get the split off as everyone's just running away here on the side of VP because they want to go back in. Yamish does fall. He's going to buy back. Knife over the BKB, though. The disarm, there it is. There's the Stone Gaze. He's going to buy them just a little bit more time. They've got the Blade Mail over here coming out from Chentricat. That's not what he's trying to do, though, because he's just going to be held into place and wait for that power shot's coming from Safe to kill him. As Dota2, the toss, but the F-Hatman will fall. The finger comes out. It doesn't seem to matter too much. DM does fall, but they eventually take down Dota2. And now it is just the Lina and Lion still alive.
Yeah, they pop the BKBs and they're way too tanky. The 2 cores, the Tiny and that Wraith King, they have too much armor. This Medusa hits them for actual 0. Even when they're stoned, with that increased physical damage that comes out during that, they still take nothing. They get the finger kill at least on DM, but that, as we said, that's been his job. He just takes a couple of the spells for his team to just roll over the game as another stomp for VP.
How do you get into... the problem is how to get into the back lines here. You know, Save and Kingslayer's not even that squishy, let's be honest. And then Save, of course, you know, just has very nice positioning. Like, that needs to be the target that they possibly take out. Do a stun. Cookie hop. Laguna comes out on Nightfall. He doesn't seem to care. The toss, he says, get out of there, you silly Nightfall.
Radiant's top tower is under
Doesn't even give him a
attack.
chance to get even the reincarnate. VP just, it's too clean. It really is. It's always them getting the initiation, the jump too, so it forces the reaction from Winstrike, and they have no way to get into the back, as you mentioned, because they're the ones getting gone on. And yeah, VP just spamming the sprays, knowing that this one is impossible for this Medusa. Sure, they can actually like stone people, maybe survive
Radiant's
some time, but
top
there
tower
is
under
literal
attack.
no damage for these 2 big cores.
Dire's bottom tower is
If they
under
get the
attack.
BKBs off, which they are.
Dire's
Shackle.
structures
That
are
doesn't quite
fortified.
connect this time around. Well, there's plenty more shackles where that one came from, and GPK is gonna toss the tree, clean up the creeps,
Dire's bottom
do a little
tower
roll
has
in front of these Medusa illusions. He doesn't care. Look at him.
Radiant's top tower is under
Why would he?
attack.
They don't hurt him.
Nope.
Dire's bottom tower
They're
is
friends
under
at this
attack.
point. They're just like,
Yeah.
hey guys, what's up? Stop tickling me.
And the itemization, it's just clean. Again, Nightfall, BKB, even the Halberd, as we said, versus the Medusa, just in case of any damage, and then they're going straight AC. It's no clowning around today from VP.
I just crack up because, you know, we watched, you know, Nightfall, he got cookied out, he got tossed back, and then now, you know, you just see the whip being used on him, like, Nightfall, come on, carry us, hurry up.
Solar Crest, Whip, all the good
Get in
stuff.
there.
Is Pentiment?
Oh, Pentiment? He's out, he's out.
Get away. They just can't do anything, though. VP just dictating the entire pace of the game. Cruise control.
Yamich has himself the Shadow Amulet here.
Just try to hide himself as far back as possible so he doesn't just get like one-shotted.
I know, right? How do I get the jump? How do I...
1,000 HP. Die almost immediately if he gets connected by anything.
Oh, yeah.
Look for the cheap damage item. Needs any little bit that they can get. We see the Medusa pick up the Crystallis.
You know, again, we see Dota2, he's trying the best he can to find any breathing room where he can hit creeps, trying not to show up on these creeps, but over on the spot, you know, VP, they're like, all right, Roche is back up, next objective, here we go.
No funny business, as we said. They just cheese shard.
Centaur Shard.
Fun one.
Smoke's out on Winstrike. I think they're just using it to migrate back home.
Man, surprising they didn't use like any of these earlier.
Radiant's bottom
I
tower
really did feel like
is
they,
under
you know,
attack.
they had maybe some options to be able to go for some type of counter ganks in this game, but it didn't ever happen. You know, VP literally were able to do whatever the hell they wanted this game, and
Some of that
it is
comes
tough.
down to just GPK having a great laning stage too.
Radiant's bottom tower.
You know, he got that Blink Dagger online so quickly, and then everyone else is just cannon fodder at that point. Gonna try to clean up these creeps though. Gotcha. So the only tanky person really on the team that can come forward. Stop a couple of these hits here. The Avalanche connecting. They'll get the LSA over on Nightfall. Turn them into statues for a little bit, but I mean...
Gotta be so careful.
They
Dota2
smoke up.
could just get tossed all the way into the fight.
I mean, I think that's what they're hoping here. And there's the toss. Followed up with the Earth Spike. Do you have that? On the back line, so they get the jump. So they will be able to take that DPK first time. Wraithkin coming right back up to. Do they have the damage though? Can they do this? Save goes in with a nice shackle here. They're gonna try to burst them down, and it looks like they should be able to take down Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat, he's going to buy back Nightfall. He's a big dude. He's just trying to chip down over onto Medusa. Save does fall, and eventually though, Thracha will go down to a scatter blast. They'll go in for this duel. Look at the damage coming out from Rainbow. Can they take him down enough? Do they have the damage cookie up forward? No, they can't take down Nightfall. They're gonna be able to turn it right back around again. Rainbow will fall. Cat also will go down, and Patamem will crumble. GG, well played comes out. Virtus Pro, they have done it, Fog. They've made sure that they haven't dropped a single series in this season 2 of the Eastern European DPC.
Just another day at work for VP.